Feeling a little stressed these days, back to school, back to work, back to life. It can all feel so overwhelming. Joining us now to talk more about work life balance is Kylie Paul. She's a business and life vision planner. Kylie, thank you so much for joining us. So much is going on. What can we do to feel more calm?
Ooh, that's a great question. So, my number one kind of tool that I use to stay calm and focused. So, I have two little kids, I own three businesses, I've got a lot going on, is I time block. So,
Okay.
getting really specific about what I want to accomplish in a
Yeah.
day, in a week, and then making time for it and being consistent with my boundaries around those time blocking frames.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So important, right? Because that can alleviate some of the overwhelm. Why are we feeling so overwhelmed? Is it just we're thinking of so many different things?
Well, one thing about overwhelm is we think that we have more to do than we actually do a lot of times. So, one thing that I use when I teach about overwhelm and what we can do to help alleviate that is to literally sit down and write everything that you think you have to do or have in your mind that you haven't actually written down and have a plan to execute on. So, write it all out, take a break, go for a walk, write out some more if you think of some more. And then the majority of those things on your list, you can probably delegate, whether that's to a family member, whether that's to a coworker, whether that's to one of your kids, to help put away
Yeah.
laundry or whatever it is. A lot of those things you can actually delegate to alleviate some of your overwhelm. And when you practice this consistently, you won't have overwhelm as much, or it won't feel as daunting because you'll have tools and you'll know, well, actually, how many things do I really have to do? Maybe I think I have 30 emails when I really only have 3 to respond to. There's those kind of things. So we make it a lot bigger in our heads than typically it actually is in reality.
Yeah. I'm guilty of this myself. Why, as women, do we have a difficult time delegating?
Delegating is difficult. Also, feeling that we have to do everything, yeah,
Ah,
ourselves and get it done and not ask for help. So, I mean, I did that for years with my staff and didn't delegate as much as I should have. And I think it's just the traditional home and depends on what kind of environment you grew up into and what roles were in the household. A lot of us didn't grow up with a male figure taking on a lot of the home responsibility, right? So we're not used to that in our subconscious, and that has to be kind of reprogrammed to say, yeah, it is okay for someone else to help you out.
yeah, absolutely. So we've got to delegate. We've got to get comfortable with that. What else is, your biggest takeaway when you talk to women who are overwhelmed that you can share, that pass along, that, really makes a difference?
For me, kind of a saying that I have is confidence is clarity. So getting really clear on what it is that you actually want to be doing and want to kind of execute in your life and fulfill in your life to create your purpose or your mission or your legacy or whatever it is, and then focus on that. A lot of times we think or create this image in our head of what we're supposed to be doing or supposed to be doing. A lot of times it's an external factor, an external influence that's creating that image of what we think of ourselves, when really we have to kind of do some digging internally and say, what do I actually want to do? What is it that motivates me? What inspires me? What fulfills me? That gives my life meaning? And then focus on those things. So typically there's top 3 things in your life that are your driving forces, that are the most important things to you. Once you get really clear on those, that's your genius zone. That's where you should be focusing. And then everything else you can kind of delegate, even as mom. So, for example, one of my driving forces is not caregiving, and I'm a mom and I was the sole caregiver to my 2 little ones for 5 years, pretty much. You know what I mean? I didn't have family that lived in town. They would help out when they could. But other than that, it was me. And once I kind of realized, well, it's okay that caregiving is not one of my driving forces. I like to create experiences with my boys and create organization and efficiency in their lives so they have that structure. That's where I shine. But the day to day and 24 hours of caregiving is not my ideal time spent with them, you know? So once
Right.
I realized that and kind of let go of that, that's
Yeah.
okay. And I delegate some of that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and the mommy guilt, right? Like letting go of that, I would assume too, right? That's a big chunk of it for us women who are dealing with so many different things.
100%. So what I kind of
Yeah.
do to wrap my mind around that, because I still have that too, of course. I'm not a heartless mom, but I schedule specific time with them, and then when I do my time blocking after school, and I pick them up from 4 till 8 till when I pick them up to bedtime, is their time that I spend with them. I make sure I'm not on my phone. I'm not doing emails. I'm not taking calls. I'm not doing any of that. That's their time that I'm spending with them. So I'm playing basketball outside or doing a game, or we have Friday night movie nights. You know what I mean? I know that that's my time with them, and I don't have guilt around that because they also know that.
Wonderful. Good advice. So, once again, Kylie, Paul, Kylie, where can people get a hold of you if they want to reach out?
I am hopefully everywhere online. I mean, you can find me on Facebook. Kylie Paul is my personal page, or Coaching with Kylie is my vision planning page on LinkedIn. Kylie Paul again, or Coaching with Kylie. And I am Kylie Paul on Instagram. So any of those platforms, you can feel free to reach out. And my email address is coachingwithkylie@gmail.com.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Take care now.
Thank
Bye.
you.